Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that magic moment has arrived again. The Sports Show is on the air. Gary Patterson is here with me, and we are really going to dig into the sports scene.
Okay.
You ready to start digging?
I'm ready to start digging, Bill.
So what did you think of the game last night?
Yes, well, we should say on the record we're recording 3 hours before Game 2. So we watched
That's exactly
Game 1
right.
last night. It was a great game. The Sox just...
Well, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think they're going to send the VCR disc out to the Hall of Fame.
No, but it was a nice, solid win.
It was a win, and in this right now,
at its moments,
what they're doing, every win is a nice win.
Yeah, the bullpen was good.
Yeah,
Joe Kelly was phenomenal.
Would you tell me something? Now, you played baseball.
Yes, I did.
Back a million years ago, I remember playing
last century.
baseball. Yeah. Would you tell me how Nunez hit that home run?
It was unbelievable.
That was like an 8-iron shot.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't swing, it's a ball. Right?
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
It's in, down.
In and down, both.
But what even more amazing is how Smoltz said right before he pitched, he's a great bad ball hitter off lefties. And he threw him a bad ball and he drilled it into the net.
That's more or less what Cora said, too.
He drilled that thing, too. I mean,
yeah,
any park in baseball, that thing's gone.
Yeah.
Right? And it came that close to not being gone, being just
right.
off the wall.
That's
it
right.
came close to being one that the monster took away.
I hate to throw any negativity in this, but how would you like to be locked in a room for a month and have to do nothing but listen to John Smoltz? Great pitcher.
Some of these games, it feels that way.
Oh,
yeah.
He's brutal.
Yeah, they're long games. These games are long. They're 4 hours. So
they seem like 8.
That's a lot of time for them to fill.
I'll tell you. Well, let me get my baseball notes here. In no particular order.
Okay.
The New England weather.
Yeah.
Is that a plus or a minus for the Red Sox?
I think it's a plus.
Oh, I think so too.
Yeah. It's just a psychological thing.
If it was Minnesota they were playing, or Toronto, that not so much.
Not so much.
No, but
yeah. It's
LA,
all in their head. It's
yeah.
LA. It's all in their head.
Exactly. And so I think the weather is on the side of the Red Sox. Now, if Los Angeles loses, do you think they'll kind of rev up the old idea again of, why don't we do this like football and put it in a domed stadium someplace? It will cut down on the travel.
No, not happening.
Not happening.
Not
That's a non-starter?
That's a non-starter.
All right. I'm glad.
That's a non-starter.
Because
it's the World Series.
It's always to our advantage to play in Fenway, too. Alex Cora.
Yeah.
Is managing as easy as he makes it look?
It's Cora karma, is what I call it.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. There's almost an aura around it. The players just are fully bought in. It's all about the team.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, he's a guy that...
He's been phenomenal.
He has.
You know, it's interesting because he's going to, we believe, and maybe by the time you watch this, you know the answer, but he's going to have the ultimate year in year one.
I know it.
Of ever managing.
Yeah.
He's going to take the Boston Red Sox, cornerstone franchise, to their all-time record wins.
Yeah.
And then win the World Series. In year one, what are you going to do for an encore?
You simply can't. There is no encore.
Try to do it again, I guess, right?
The only encore is a bigger paycheck.
Yeah.
Someplace else, if somebody else wants to hire him away for skillions of dollars.
But these players are fully bought into what he's doing. And you know what? He's just in that zone. Everything he's doing is working.
It is.
Everything he's doing.
And you know,
He's timing the way he's bringing the relievers in. It works.
now part of being a Major League Baseball player is there's a bunch of them that do a lot of chirping about their manager or about their teammates or their coaching staff or the fans. There's a lot of complaints. Not so here in Boston. This is, again, the karma.
Yeah, and winning helps.
Well,
You know,
winning
the
does
chirping,
help.
the more the losses go up, the more the chirping goes up,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But, they've had such a dominant, incredible year
And they've kept it up.
that we're assuming they're going to wrap this baby up
Well, now that's another story.
before the next show.
Boy, oh boy. I did not look at Bovada. I don't know what the odds are on the Red Sox game.
Red Sox were favored in the series going in, but it wasn't huge.
Okay.
I want to say minus 135, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's,
solid, but
that's. I don't think I'd bet that.
yeah.
I
like
put
them going
put
in.
up 135 to win 100. I don't know.
So my prediction was Sox in 6.
Yeah.
My wife's was Sox in 5,
She's
and she's pretty confident.
she's
She said they're going to
tad more aggressive.
Dodgers will win 1 in Los Angeles.
I'm not scared of the LA lineup.
I'm not either. I'm not scared of their pitching staff either.
Nope.
No.
No. Kershaw.
The way the
is-
Red Sox approach it at the plate, they're not like the other teams just swinging for the fences or striking out. I
Yep.
mean, they play baseball.
Smoltz made mention of that last night. He said,
It's true.
They're aggressive.
It's true.
They just come at you
They can beat you a lot of ways.
on the base.
They can
paths.
single you to death and steal bases. I'll tell you, I think going forward, a big factor in the series could be Jensen, their closer. The last 29 base stealers have been successful on him. So,
An
when
interesting spec.
Betts, Benintendi, Jackie Bradley Jr.,
Yeah.
if they get on when he's pitching,
They're off to the
they
races.
should be going.
Yeah. That's interesting. I wasn't
Yeah.
aware of that.
Yeah, he does not do well when it comes to that.
Huh.
29 straight have
And
stolen
he's got to
off him.
know that, too. It's in his
Yeah.
head.
And it may be a common, and their catchers aren't the greatest catchers
No.
in the world either.
No,
So
that's right.
the combination of those two, people run all over that guy.
My. Chris Sale.
Yeah.
I got to believe he's hurting.
Yeah. I don't know if he's, there's something wrong with him.
Mm-hmm.
I would certainly agree he's not 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's hurting, so to speak, but it's troubling.
Yeah.
It's troubling. And how many more years does he have? Do we have him? 1 or 2?
I think it's just one.
Yeah. Because that's going to be a big question.
It is going to be a big question.
Because,
I mean, I was
by that
listening.
time,
Oh.
if a true ace will be 35 to 40 million a year.
Yeah.
Into,
I did something extremely stupid the other day. And I started listening to Maz and Felger.
yeah.
We kid a lot about that. And I do. I rough those guys up. I don't like any of them. But they're worse than all the others put together.
Yeah.
I don't.
They're
nasty.
They try to be caustic.
Yeah.
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 That's their style.
Boy. But they were really roughing up a couple of players. And I'm just saying, why? Why are they doing
A
this?
couple of Red Sox players?
Yeah.
Hard to argue with what they're doing.
It just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, David Price, is he winning his way back into the hearts of Red Sox Nation?
I'll really be able to answer this question well in about 5 hours. About 10 o'clock tonight, I'll have your answer for you, for those at home. Yeah.
Just feel free to call
So,
Darryl.
but I will say that I think he's going to have a solid start tonight.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to factor in the decision. I think he's going to be 4 innings, done. Cora can do exactly what he did last night. All of those guys who pitched in Game 1 can pitch tonight in Game 2.
Evaldi?
Yeah. Well, not Evaldi. I swap out Porcello. Whoever you want to start Game 3.
Yeah, I've got his name down next.
Yeah.
He came from no place to get on the roster.
Well, Porcello?
I'm sorry. I meant
Pomerantz.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we sit here, we haven't seen him yet. I don't know if we will. If we do, I think it'll be what they used Eduardo Rodriguez for in Game 1, which was get that one lefty out.
Yeah.
Which he did after going 2-0. And that was not a great at-bat for, I forget his name, what's the lefty for the Dodgers. But anyway, they won Game 1.
What's Rodriguez's future with this club?
Oh, I think he'll be here next year. You know.
For more of the same?
Yeah. I think the question is, I think Evaldi is a question because somebody's going to be willing to pay him $20 million. He is making a lot of money in this postseason.
Can you see 5 years, $100 million?
It wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
Because, he had the elbow thing. He's obviously back from it, throwing 101.
Boy,
and,
is he ever.
You know, a Rick Porcello contract, $20 million a year. Yeah.
Yeah. How about Sale?
Well, I would wait as long as I can. If I got another year to wait, I would want to wait that year and see where he is. Because right now, if he was up this year, it would be. I personally would be very wary of signing him up for 5 years, $150 million. I mean, really?
2 years, $30 million.
Yeah, it's going to have to be short term. And that's the thing. If you're willing to overpay a little bit, you might have to give him 2 years, $80 million to keep it at 2 years, right?
Yeah, I think I'd probably let him walk at that point.
Yeah.
I keep looking at him.
But the system needs to produce, right? So we got the kid, the number 1 pick from a year or two ago, the lefty.
Groom. Yeah.
Groom, right? Who had surgery.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Hopefully he
Tommy
comes back.
John. Yep.
They all come back from it now.
Yep.
So,
better than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, they need him to be here in 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Now, they got a couple of other arms that have sprout up down in single A and high A, low A and high A.
That's good.
They get a reliever that's got like 3 pitches, and he throws 97, and he's a lefty. They got him out Arizona at the fall league.
Yeah, pitching has changed. It's all about a high fastball and a breaking ball that ends up in the dirt.
That's it exactly. Yeah.
Right. And that's it. That's pretty much it.
If you were the Red Sox,
and you better have a catcher because bad catching is
bad catching. You're right. Because when you start dumping the things in the dirt,
it almost killed. It almost killed the Dodgers in the championship series.
Well, it's really hurt all the teams that played the Red Sox this year. The Red Sox will run.
Right.
Yeah. And they also make you eat your mistakes.
Right.
Yeah.
They sure do.
I stopped. Now I'm going to watch the game tonight. I'll make a cup of hot chocolate and sit there and
or a captured audience.
I will see David Price.
Yeah.
My mind sees John Lester.
Yeah.
And I'm saying to myself, the Red Sox made a mistake.
Yeah. They sure did.
Yeah. But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Lester is...
he's still good.
Yep. And he's got that big frame.
He went through about 6 weeks in the middle of the season when he wasn't good.
Yeah.
He was struggling mid-year. Then he kind of got it together down the stretch.
Yeah, if you take a look at his final record, low ERA,
he
was under 3.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's a competitor. He's a bulldog.
Yeah. He was our guy.
Yeah. He was, up through our system.
Yeah.
Yeah. Benintendi.
Yeah,
Uh,
going to be good.
he is.
You know.
You know, he had an interesting. He actually had an interview. They must have forced him, and he said, "I'm a line drive hitter."
Yeah.
And he says, "I'm not going to hit 35 or 40 home runs like JD."
Right.
But he said, and what I get, very frankly, are mistakes. I'm trying to hit line drives.
Well, I love him right where he is.
I love him.
Two numbers. If you're going to have Mookie leading off, right, which you could have a debate over whether Mookie's bat is too valuable to lead off.
That's right.
But I think it works. And
really does work.
part of the reason I think it works is because you got Benintendi right behind him.
Absolutely. They get a pretty good pretty good looking lineup behind him.
Yeah.
And you know, Benintendi, I think, is highly rated as a defensive outfielder. But I think he's even better. He anticipates at the crack of the bat wonderfully.
I've been a Red Sox fan for a long time. And
right.
I've never.
You're in your 30s. So, yeah.
I'm in my 30s. But this is the best defensive outfield I've ever seen.
They've had some good ones.
I mean, Fred Lynn and Yaz, I guess, or Dewey Evans.
Yep.
These guys are better.
Oh, yeah. Well,
with the exception of the game one throw last night from Jackie Bradley. He would like to have that one back.
Yeah. Well, he has quite a gun there.
I thought, and he had a chance on that play. First and third one out, fly ball. He set up, and he just didn't make good throw.
Nope. But
he's capable of making that throw.
9 times out of 10 he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah. By the way, just maybe throwing a little fuel on the fire here. I always thought Yaz was overrated as an outfielder.
I agree with that.
Except
in 67.
Well, 67, he was sprinkled with holy water or something there at the beginning of the year. He could do no wrong.
Except for 67, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
He had a decent arm. He didn't have a great arm.
And he only had...
All of these guys have better arms than him.
Maybe a tickle above average speed.
Yeah.
And I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt there,
No, that's true.
We forget, too, that he ended up at first base.
Yes, he did for a number of years.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
You know what? He was a pretty good first baseman.
He worked at it. He definitely worked at it.
Because he'd come up as an infielder.
Yep.
But anyway, Benintendi, I love the kid. Now, this is a silly thing to even talk about, but Mookie Betts. I mean, this kid is, he makes unbelievable look like, gee, is that the best you can say about him?
He's the spark that ignites the offense.
Boy,
that's the plus of saying put him in the leadoff spot. And you got him and Benintendi, and they move the third spot around a little bit, but Martinez and Mookie is such a great base runner. I mean, he really is an elite base runner.
He's an elite outfielder.
Yep.
He's an elite hitter.
Yep.
And he appears to be one of the great kids to come up through the system.
So is this?
He smiles all the bloody time.
Is this his fourth year? Fourth year. So you got him for 2 more years. So why don't you try to sign him right now?
They tried to
a 6-year.
They've been trying.
You're going to have to 6-year, $300 million contract.
Do you know what? He's got this a pair of brothers that are his agents, I think. And he's just said, you need to talk to them. And they just said, no, we're not talking. So
I mean, that kid is going to, he's got the charisma for the endorsements too.
Oh, has he?
And
ever.
he's, that kid's going to make $300, $400, $500 million in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Easy.
And I want to see him make it here in Boston.
Yeah.
If
he's a retire the number kind of guy.
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
I would love to see the Red Sox if they could possibly do it, sit down and just hand them a blank check.
Yeah.
Just say, fill it out.
Yeah.
Well, here's the contract. Fill it out. Put the amount you want and the number of years you want right there.
Right. Yeah, makes you wonder.
Well, I bet you they're trying to do it. And
But what you have to do now is you have to give them the opt-outs, because the players always argue, well, how do we know where the market's going to be? People might be making $60 million by
right.
then.
But,
So they get the opt-outs.
yeah, the other side of that
Right.
coin, though, is that management should be able to say, well, okay, you can have an opt-out. We have an opt-out.
We get a buyout.
We can opt you out.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you turn to mud, you're not getting the job done, we can send you packing. Oh, no. Well, we can't have that.
Right.
So,
But if you're willing to go in a little bit above the market, think, looking long term with a guy,
yeah.
and,
First
it
of
might
all, you
make sense.
buy out those 2 years. Now, he's going to be arbitration
Yeah.
in those 2 years. So he's going to get one heck of a deal
Right.
in arbitration. But if you said to him, look, let's buy those 2 years out, $35 million apiece.
Yeah.
All right? And then let's tag 3 more years at $35 million apiece on that.
Right.
How's that sound to you, Mookie? When you add up what you get for those 2 years and add it to the 35s that you get downstream, you're probably looking at $42 or $44 million a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe more than that even. Well, I remember watching Nomar Garciaparra play when he was just a kid, and I'm saying to myself, here's all the grace and the ability of an antelope out there.
Yeah.
My God, I'm going to be able to watch him for 15 years, That's how I feel about Mookie Betts. Unfortunately, Nomar short-circuited.
Yeah, he did.
That was the end of that. But
You never know.
You
right?
never know.
I mean, Mookie, obviously appears like a franchise player for a long time, but you never know.
you never know.
He's still young.
Yeah. Where was he born and raised?
Nashville.
Nashville.
Yeah, he's a Nashville boy.
Nashville boy.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, was it a baseball hot spot that he'd like to go back and play in? No, because there is no team there. So,
Yeah, I forget where he played. I think he played a couple of years of college ball.
Yeah.
Was it South Carolina? Not sure.
South Carolina produces ball players.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Jackie Bradley,
I
right?
think you're right.
Jackie Bradley.
Jr., yeah.
Yeah.
And he's the next name on my list. Where would we be without him?
Yeah. Well, he's
I mean,
had a good postseason.
boy, oh boy, has he ever.
Be able to be the MVP of the division
ALCS,
series,
yeah.
right? Because you knocked in 9 runs on 3 hits. He had 3 hits, and he knocked in 9 runs. That is, how many people have done that? I haven't.
He played some pretty good D while he
Yeah.
was doing it, too.
I mean, that's hard to do. The maximum you could ever get is 12, right? You walk up, you hit 3 grand slams, you got
That's
12.
it. Yeah.
And he had 9.
9.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you, he's the complete package.
Yeah.
If he could get his batting average up around 280.
And except for that throw in game 1. I wanted him to throw that guy out at the plate.
Evaldi, Nathan Evaldi.
Yeah, about to get very rich.
He's going to get rich, isn't
Yes, he is.
he? As long as nothing happens to him in the World Series,
Yeah.
such as blowing his arm out or something, he stands to see some mighty interesting contracts thrown his way. There's going to be quite a line at the door.
Yeah.
I wonder what is going on in his mind besides, holy moly.
Well,
am I
at this
gonna-"
point, he's got to just sit back and wait, right? And
Yeah.
take the offers.
Yeah,
Now, the Red Sox have the exclusive period to talk to him.
that's right.
So, but even if he wants to come back, you got to go to market, right?
Oh, don't worry.
Even if you want to come back.
Yeah, his
What's the rush?
agents will know.
What's the rush?
Yeah,
Right?
his agents
Opening
know
day's
what
not
it's
till April.
gonna
No
be.
rush here.
That's right.
So, So we'll see. But I think he's getting 20.
Oh,
20 a year,
I think
and-
that's a lock.
I mean, he's 28 years old.
Yep.
His arm, he's had the surgeries. He's back. He's throwing 101 for crying out loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
His ball moves.
By the way, did you see the video replay on one of Sale's pitches that moved 45 inches?
Yes.
Now, I don't know whether, if you looked at that from up above, I'm not sure that went 45 inches. I don't think it could. Could it?
I don't know. That's what they claim, though, with that
Yeah.
stat thing. So, if you want to keep Eovaldi, which I wouldn't mind keeping Eovaldi, I think you're going to end up looking at like 5 years at 22, 110. So, if you want to do that, it probably means Porcello needs to go, which means you can trade Porcello and get some value back. If you chose to do that,
Boy, oh boy, I'd
you
rather
could keep
trade
Porcello
I'd
and
rather
trade Erod.
Now there's the lad that I would trade. I love Porcello.
Yeah,
He goes out there and game in, game out, pretty darn steady.
and then you got Joe Kelly. So I guess he's a free agent.
How did he look last night?
In game one, he was terrific.
He was pouring the
So-
ball in there.
If he continues to do that, because he's done well in the postseason, he's pitched well.
Yep.
Kelly is going to be like a $12 to $14 million
I think
pitcher.
so too. Maybe even more.
Yeah, he'll probably get like 3 years.
He'll get Miller money.
He'll get 3 years, $45 million.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah.
And if you're the Red Sox, I don't think you can pay that for him. Not if you're going to get Eovaldi, all right? You probably can't sign them
I
both.
think it all depends on, we're going to lose some contracts. It all depends on how close to the magic number we
Right.
get. But, well,
It doesn't help.
I'd
It
rather sign Eovaldi than Kelly. I can tell you that.
doesn't help that you're paying Pedroia like 15.
I know.
And are they done with Pablo next year?
Finally.
Yeah. So Pablo and Hanley fall off. That's $40 million. But
Brazier.
that $40 million, you would have to use the vast majority of that to bring back Kelly and Eovaldi.
Yeah.
Almost all of it.
Now, Brazier, he's a lock. The guy.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
He's under control.
yeah, under control. By
Right.
the way, do you notice that his head is always like this?
Yeah.
I wonder what that's all about.
I don't know. He's got some twitches going on there.
But as long as he keeps
Him
on
and
throwing
Kelly,
that
right?
98-mile-an-hour fastball, he can do anything he
Kelly's got
wants.
that little eye wink going.
Yeah. All right. So the other missing link, I guess, in this free agent drama that we're sketching out is Kimbrel.
Yeah, there you go.
What are we going to do about
If
him?
you want him, it's $14 to $15 million.
I think he's looking for more than that.
Probably, I'm sure he is. And he might get it. 3 years, 54. I mean, what's Chapman? Chapman's like 18, right, or something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he's 70-something, I think, 4 years.
yeah. Now that said, who's going to really chase him with big money? Not the Yankees, I don't think.
No.
They're already loaded.
No. And not only that, if the teams in the American League that have seen his act, he's got to walk 4 guys before he gets settled in and
Yeah.
all that. I don't know. I don't know who the devil would go after him.
Yeah.
Is it a marginal team? Is it a young team trying to build?
Yeah, I think the Yankees are going to get Machado.
Yeah.
And after that, I don't think they're going to,
They don't-
they're wary of the tax and all that stuff too.
Exactly.
And they've got room for a big one though.
Yeah.
They got a room
And-
for
and
either
Machado makes
Bryce Harper.
sense.
Bryce Harper's out
Yeah.
there, but the one who makes sense for them is Machado.
Now,
And they can start because they need a shortstop for the first half of next year with Didi out, right?
yeah, exactly. I was going to say, I think it's all of half a year.
Yeah.
Because Tommy John,
Yeah.
some guys don't exactly come firing back on
No.
all cylinders. So what do you do with Didi? Do you rehab him and then trade him?
No, I think you rehab him and Machado goes to third for the playoffs for the second half of the
Oh,
year.
he doesn't like that.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
If you make it 35 to 40, which you might be,
Yeah.
put it right in the contract.
That's
You'll play where we tell you to play.
Yeah. Now, the Astros playing Spygate.
Yeah.
What do you think that was all about?
I think it was a bunch of nonsense.
You think?
Yeah. Do I think they're trying to steal stuff? Quite possibly, but you know,
Major
Spygate
League,
too.
Major League Baseball put the clamps on that.
Yeah.
And said, no talk.
Because this kind of thing has been a long-standing tradition in baseball. This stuff has been going on well over 100 years. It goes back to the late 1800s. It goes back to when they first started using signs, right? I mean, when I was a kid, they talked about stealing signs and relaying it, and you know, what are they doing?
I like, well, the shortstop sees the sign, so he goes like this, and the first base coach says, it looks like a fastball coming.
So, if you recall, there was a story during the season, I think it was in the first third of the season, about the Indians, that they were tied directly into the TV video, and that they were getting the catcher signs, and I forget who, I think it was Ramirez. And if it was going to be a breaking ball, the batting coach would whistle. And he recognized his whistle. He'd whistle. And I think it was Toronto caught on to it, supposedly. And they were like, they called the office and they went,
They were whistling.
Yeah, because he was looking at the monitor, which was the live shot from center field.
Now, going back before they did that kind of stuff.
And that's why everybody's now, very rarely, even with nobody on base, they've got multiple signs going.
Yeah.
Because they think they're being spied on.
And back in the old days, too, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, I guess it was no secret that Toronto had a guy out in center field with binoculars.
Right.
Yeah.
But the question is, how do you get it to the batter, right? How does the batter know?
Yeah, with these magic watches.
But, it's right there for them, right?
Yeah.
They had the center field shot of the catcher. Catcher gives the sign. Nobody on base gets the sign.
Yeah.
If it's a fastball, it's silence.
Do you think that, I think there may be more to this than meets the eye, and the Astros.
That's so Belichickian.
Yeah. God.
That's something the Pats would do.
All right. Let's take a time out here for
Okay.
just a moment. What are we going to do about the caravan that's marching its way through Mexico?
I think we're going to stop it at the border.
Are we going to call out the army and we're going to shut the border down?
Yeah.
Going to have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to have to, you have to take some aid and some medical care and have it there
That's right.
when they get there. But
That's it.
if you're drawing a line, you're drawing a line.
Drawing a line, and we've got to draw the line. Now, there's another one forming up down in Ecuador or some bloody place.
Yeah.
A couple of countries away from Mexico. And they're starting. So, I mean, you've got to stop this.
Yeah.
Either we're a nation
Just
of
look
laws or
at
not.
what's happening in Europe right now. People have awoken
Oh, have they ever?
to what has happened.
The political tides are changing.
Yes, rapidly.
Countries are going with...
For Germany,
Yep.
France, both of
Yep.
those leaders are.
Oh, Merkel is... she's gone.
Yeah.
And she just... and
And a lot of it is due to the immigration policy.
of course, it's all due to the with her.
Because those countries have changed.
Yeah. I mean,
Sweden.
she's the one that let him in. Oh, the Swedes. Wow.
just-
Major lead backlash.
Yeah. Because Sweden is gone.
What are we going to do with these people, And they've got to make a firm, unequivocal stand. The Columbia gas...
Right. But I think we need to
do it humanely.
take aid to them, have food and water and medical care
Absolutely.
that we send over the river.
Over.
Yeah.
Yes. Not over on our
Yes.
side. Stop them. And if we have to go over there with tent hospitals, mass units, or whatever,
We should
then we
have
do it.
them. We should have the permission of Mexico
Yeah.
to set them up in advance so that they're ready.
Yeah, exactly.
And those need to be secured.
Has to be secured.
Yeah.
That means troops on the
Yes,
other
it
side,
does.
too. Yeah, that's going to be a fun situation.
Hey,
Yeah, it's got to be done. The Columbia gas mess.
yeah,
I mean, these people really are suffering.
yes they are.
They're freezing.
Cold.
And there's no end in sight.
Well, no end in sight is the key phrase that you referenced, because this situation exists up and down the East Coast, from Baltimore through Washington, up through New York to Boston. The gas infrastructure is old, and it hasn't been replaced.
You know,
And,
you're right.
quite frankly, the profit motive, they replace it when it breaks. And this one was a bad break.
It was a bad break.
But I don't have gas. I've never had gas. But I've read on this, and the square block that blew up in Philadelphia, because those valves were from like 1890.
Yeah.
Well,
You're absolutely right.
and they rotted away, and the whole city block went up.
And these people with signs on their lawns, no new pipelines.
Right,
Well, that's brilliant.
right.
So in order to get more gas through the pipelines, the existing pipelines, the 1912 pipelines,
Right.
you can't enlarge them, no new pipelines. So what do you have to do? You've
Gotta
got
go
to
faster.
up the pressure.
That's right.
That's right. And guess what happens when you up the pressure?
Yeah.
Boom.
Those 120-year-old pipes break.
Bingo. So, I mean, we want.
So I think I think it's a shame. I feel very sorry
Yep.
for those folks. I think this is a harbinger of things to come. I mean,
It's no question.
I'm glad I don't have gas.
Me too.
I don't like paying my electric bill, but I'm glad I don't have gas.
I don't have gas, and I do not know of a single house that ever exploded that has oil heat.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm going to stay with oil
Yeah.
heat.
Maybe a furnace fire here and there, but no explosion.
That's right.
Just, manageable.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But, we've got to, all right, now, our friends, the green people,
Yeah.
we don't want pipelines. Why? Well, there's no real good reason for some of their rationale. What they really want is to cause gas shortages and force more wind farms and more solar panels and all of that. And somehow this is all going to translate into a booming deal, and there'll be a major league breakthrough, and we'll solve the energy problems. Well, it ain't going to happen that way.
Yeah. In the 70s, I was very excited as a young man about the potential of solar energy. And I'm here to report, as no longer a young man, that I'm very disappointed.
That was the 1870s, right?
Yeah. that it did. I mean, I read some books on it at the time, but the technology has not developed like it was projected, or the potential that people thought was there to develop it, because they can't make it economical.
If everything fell into place perfectly, and we built wind farm after wind farm after wind farm, solar panels every place, even down the middle of 128, every place, it still would only and depends on who you're talking to. Talk maybe 11, 12, 13% of the demand for power.
Yeah, that's the other problem.
Doesn't solve the problem. Makes you
Right.
feel good. And if you sleep better at night, knowing that you get renewable fuel, well, that's great.
Yeah,
But it doesn't solve the problem.
right.
And do you know what would have solved the problem? Clean, efficient, safe nuclear power. And we, all the scaredy cats, all talked America out of nuclear power.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It's an interesting question.
yeah. Maybe we'll devote a program to it someday. Or better yet, maybe we'll get back to sports.
I think in 100 years, solar is going to be a large part of the answer because they'll actually be able to corral it. And
Not ready yet.
no, and that's what I'm saying. As I'm sitting here almost 50 years after that, my excitement, I'm disappointed that it
Yeah.
hasn't taken that step that I
And
thought
then
it
what
was
are we
going to
going to
take
do
in
with
my
all
lifetime.
the wind panels that we
Yeah.
got? The windmills out killing all the birds and everything.
Well, I'm a believer that long after I'm dust, that if the world survives for another 200 years,
Good question.
that fossil fuel is not the long-term answer. There will be energy will be in a form that we don't yet
That's right.
understand.
Oh, I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff is madness right now that we're going through.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
the,
yeah.
Speaking of madness, I watched the Celtics the other night.
Yeah, against
Couple
Charlotte,
of
that was
games.
a tough game. I was impressed by how they defended them, though.
Yeah,
They really did.
they did.
Celtics
The Celtics
really had to work to get
they
a good
looked
shot.
disjointed.
Yeah.
Like they had never played together before.
Charlotte played like a 2-3 zone,
Yeah.
and they played it very well. Scott Skiles is their coach. He's a good coach.
Scott Skiles was a tough little player.
Yeah, yeah. So they shot terribly. It was a bad loss, but I was impressed by the other team, the way they played defense.
Yeah,
They went after the Celtics.
they did.
And the Celtics weren't ready for it, quite
No, they
frankly.
weren't.
Yeah.
The Celtics, it was like an
Yeah.
exhibition game there
Yeah.
for a while.
They couldn't penetrate.
And the Bruins are having the same problem.
Yeah.
They get a lot of moving parts. They haven't. That trip over to China just blew
Yeah.
the whole training cycle. They now they get injuries. Miller, McAvoy, Backus, Krug.
Yeah.
Krejci looks like he's lost.
What's the story with Charlie, injury-wise?
Don't know.
Yeah.
And let's hope it's nothing to do with the heart, but they haven't released any information. So,
Need that kid to take a big step this year.
yeah.
Be the man.
And he is.
Charlie needs to be the man.
Boy, I'll tell you, he is going to be a hell of a hockey player.
Yeah. How about now?
Yeah. Pretty darn close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big step this year.
Yeah. Well, I like him a lot. And I also like gee, I'm glad I thought of that. The left winger, right winger, cheapest creepers. His
Yeah.
father played in the league.
They got a lot of players. DeBrusque. You like DeBrusque? Yeah.
Louis DeBrusque's kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake DeBrusque.
They got some interesting young talent, right?
Yeah.
So that makes them intriguing.
And Louis.
Because if a couple of these kids can step up.
That's right. Louis was a plumber out there. I mean, he was nothing but a fist fighter.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
Okay.
well, now moving right along.
Yes.
Football.
Okay.
I've got, well, first of all, I guess the first thing is Dick Modzelewski passed away.
Yeah. Hadn't heard that.
Yeah. And of course, he formed that front four of the New York Giants with Jim Cattavage,
Yeah.
and Rosie Greer and Andy Robustelli.
Yeah.
That was quite.
Those guys were tough.
Boy, they were
They
good.
were tough.
And that we watched them every single Sunday because that's what we got.
Yeah, right.
And I must admit, I was a Giants fan during that time. I mean, I loved those guys. Interesting. Did you meet or know Mike Cosentino? He was a school teacher here in Norfolk, and then he went over to KP, and he was
I don't
a
think
physical
so.
education teacher and some other stuff too.
I don't believe so.
Mike is still around too. He's late 80s. He's still quite the golfer and everything.
Oh,
A
good for
real
him.
good guy.
Good for him.
Well, he was my 7th grade teacher his first year.
No
First
kidding.
year in teaching, he was landed here in Norfolk, and he had us in the 7th grade.
Wow.
And I remember him talking about football. He played for Arnold College down in Connecticut.
Okay.
Guess who came from Arnold College? Andy Robustelli.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and he told us all about Andy Robustelli, his friend, and he was out with the LA Rams and all of that. And guess what? The Giants traded, and he ends up in New York, and we ended up watching him. And I'm sure Mike was proud of him.
I'm sure.
But anyway, he passed away, and he was quite the football player.
Yes, he was.
I got this in no particular order, but maybe we ought to talk about the Patriots.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks have been interesting.
Yeah.
Surprising.
Yeah. I don't like what I've seen out of the defense. I really don't. They're. I mean, there were a lot of opportunities that Trubisky missed. People are running over the middle of the field, and they are open. The safeties, whether it's a linebacker in coverage or a safety in coverage, both Harmons, right? The only one who's looked okay at times is Van Noy. Hightower.
I thought Hightower played very well.
He's getting better. He played better.
In Kansas City, yeah. That was a good game for him.
He still doesn't look like he's at the real impact player level.
Right.
Which he was at one time.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Almost like he's getting in shape.
Yeah. He's a big play guy.
Tell me something. The tight end goes down 6 or 8 yards and cuts across into the center of the field. Is that some new radical idea in football?
Yeah.
Because the Patriots act like they've never seen that before.
Yeah. Because they were playing a lot of zone, and that was open.
Open.
Just run to the space.
Don't you think Belichick, the smartest coach ever created, might have said, we need to make a running change on that. That's not working out there.
The problem is then if you're playing man, these guys get beat.
Yeah, I know it.
That's why they play so much zone.
Yeah. They kept Duron Harmon.
Yeah.
Not exactly covering himself with glory out there.
Good tackle at the goal line, but on the Hail Mary.
Yes.
He did. He stood him up.
Yeah. Well, a smart guy was telling me that the Patriots played it right. They were in the end zone, and they came out and they stopped it, the completion. They weren't concerned about him catching it on the 3-yard line.
Yeah.
They didn't want him catching it in the end zone.
Now, I heard Bert Breer say that the way the Patriots play that, Gordon was playing the Gronk position, and then on that one, they would have had Gronk in front. He would have been fronting everybody else behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he thinks Gordon screwed it up because he was supposed to be fronting.
Okay. All right. Well,
Gordon got the message when he went up. You could see him with his hands trying to, make sure he batted it down. But
I think Gordon will know enough next time.
Yeah. He's doing okay.
He seems to catch on.
He's doing okay.
I'll tell you what, he's got a great pair of mitts.
Yeah.
Boy, I'll tell you what, he gets his hand on the ball.
It's October, right? So if he keeps
progressing,
he could be a weapon come December, January.
The Celtics, the Patriots might have got themselves stuck in a thumb and pulled out a plum.
Yeah.
Now there was
they might have got the better out of him and Amari Cooper, who Dallas paid a number 1 pick for.
Will you explain that one to me?
Yeah.
Well,
Cooper's still young, right? So the other side of it, he was the 4th pick in the draft. He was heralded coming out of Alabama, right? And he had a great college career at Alabama. Well, they won championships. First year, he was okay. Second and third year, he was a Pro Bowler.
That's right. Yeah, and now afterwards.
4th year, not so much.
Yeah.
Might have gotten banged up a little bit. And so far this year, which I think is his 5th year, not so much.
Yeah, you wonder if Gruden...
And Gruden wanted him out.
I wonder if Gruden is saying, I'm 1-5 right now. I'm going to get a top flight number 1 pick. Why don't I go for another one too?
Yeah.
Let me offload this guy, and
the other thing is he's got, and the Pro Football Focus numbers back it up. He has an extremely high drop percentage. It's like second. He was second in the league in drop.
Really?
He
I
drops
wasn't aware
a
of
ton of
that.
passes, which he did not do when he played for Nick Saban.
Yeah, you don't drop the ball with that.
Yeah, he didn't drop passes in college, but supposedly he's had terrible drop numbers. So, they gave up their first round pick.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are not good. That could be a top 15 pick easy.
That's right. And mention and with Oakland's record, they may be third, fourth.
So if you're Dallas, and now you got to bring this kid in now and get him to learn your system
Oh, by
quickly.
the way, when he was traded, he was in concussion protocol.
Right. So is giving up a number one pick to do that, to get this guy that there's a lot of questions about now, and have to break him in, is worth a number one? And is it going to be that much better than if they just went out and brought back Des Bryant, who already knows the offense?
There's more
I don't
to
know
that.
if Des is done or not.
It's gotta be
I mean,
more
he's
to that.
He hasn't signed with anybody.
That whole Des story.
Something's
that-
going
yeah,
on. I thought he would have signed with somebody by now
Yeah.
because there's been injuries,
Yeah.
and he still hasn't gotten signed.
I think Jerry Jones has just pushed the panic button and just said, "Damn it, let's go." What's that?
5.
Okay. I wanted to make a couple of other things here real quick. Will the Patriots make a trade?
I think they
Till
will.
October
Yeah.
5th. I think so too.
I think
Now,
they'll
they're
make
talking
one or
about
two.
Peterson, the D-back.
I don't believe they'll get him.
No.
I think he might move,
Yeah.
and I think New Orleans is desperately. They've been looking hard for a corner.
Our secondary could stand a bit of shoring up. Who
Yeah,
knows?
it could. We could use him. There's no question.
Yeah.
And they did restructure Gilmore's contract, so they,
Yes.
they were freeing up cap space to be
Yeah.
able to do something.
Yeah. And they,
And I hope it's on the defensive side of the ball, right?
according to the,
Like linebacker. I would like to see another
Linebacker,
linebacker.
that's why they signed Simon, and he's been hurt constantly.
Right.
Not that he's a total answer, but they're trying a little bit anyway. Gronk and Michelle appear to be not so serious injuries.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Names.
Think in January. Need both those guys in January.
Yeah. Gotta have them.
Yeah.
James White.
Yeah.
Best game he's ever played.
He was
I think.
terrific. He was terrific. I worry about them using him too much
Yeah, you and me
because
both.
he is a guy that we cannot lose.
Cannot lose him.
So, with Michelle out, now maybe he'll only be out for a few weeks. But still, I don't want James White carrying the ball 15 times a game.
No.
No,
I mean,
absolutely
he's a
not.
small man.
I want him getting his, 3 or 4 or 5
I
carries.
want him sneaking out in the flat
And then
and
8
catching passes.
then 8 or 9 catches.
Now, Mike Gillisley is on the street.
Yeah,
Why don't they pick him up?
I'm sure it's an option on the list.
Yeah. I mean, he knows the system.
They got a few more days,
Yep.
right? As we tape,
He'd
they got a few more days.
He'd be functional right
Yeah.
from the get-go. J.C. Jackson. Lots of talk, but he runs hot and cold.
Yeah, well, he's
He's a kid.
he's the new Malcolm Butler, right? So undrafted free agent, made the team, kid from Maryland. He can play a little bit. It looks like he has a propensity to make plays. He intercepted 2 in preseason.
Yeah,
I got him on
yeah.
the team,
Yeah.
but he also has had a number of penalties.
Yep. He has and made some dumb plays.
Right.
Yeah. Bill doesn't like dumb plays.
Right. But Bill also, some of his penalties, if you're in man coverage and he just gets burned, right? And the guy's running away and he's going to be open. Mm-hmm. Bill wants you to grab him. Take the 5-yard penalty.
Yeah.
Take the 5-yard first
absolutely.
down. Because if he
That's
fakes
smart.
you out of your sneakers,
Yeah.
it's they're
And he's
gonna,
off to the races.
and he's off to the
Yeah.
races. Grab him.
Speaking of off to the races, how about Cordell Patterson?
Yeah.
Is he,
He's a,
if we could ever harness him,
yeah. Well, I think we got it right where we need him. Return the kickoffs and a few flanker screens.
a few trick plays.
Maybe a jet, the jet sweep, right?
He's a big man. And
I don't see him catching balls 15 yards downfield. So,
yeah, it's a shame.
but the flanker screen play,
Yeah.
it's like a running play.
I'll tell you, Speed.
Yeah.
He was
And
like he was
around-
shot out of a cannon on
Yeah.
that TD that he returned. And Julian Edelman, he's back.
Yeah.
It's like he was never missing,
Yeah, he looks good.
doesn't he?
Yeah.
And Kyle Van Noy, I thought he's played very well.
Yeah, I think he's definitely improved because I was not a big Van Noy guy last year.
Yep. And now a couple of downers. You remember Ray Caruth?
Yeah, got out of prison.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? He shot, well,
He
had,
didn't actually. He had somebody do it.
that's
yes.
right, killed his pregnant wife.
Right.
The baby survived and had all kinds of physical
Yeah,
difficulties.
brain damage, severe
Yep.
brain damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the woman that was killed, her sister raised the kid. Caruth wants custody of the kid.
Wow.
Man,
don't think
he
so.
belongs back in the
I'm
can.
surprised he got out. I thought he got life.
He did. He
You
got life,
18
but they
18 years
can
later.
moderate it or something.
So he's 44 years old and he's out.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
A sign of the times. Lara Juris was named Vice President of People and Culture for the Minnesota Vikings.
Really?
Yep.
Vice President of People and Culture.
Isn't that something?
Wow.
Wonder how much she's getting paid for that phony job.
Are they going to end up having to change their logo because it's disrespectful to the Vikings?
Or she going to clothe the cheerleaders? Or
Right.
wonder what's going to happen.
Oh.
We'll have to stay tuned to that.
Yeah. That's
It's one of those things that
very
was
progressive.
to wonder about. And by the way, Blake Bortles
Yeah.
played well against us
Yeah.
and hasn't played well ever since.
Nope.
Boy.
Eli Manning or Derek Carr should be on their way to Jacksonville. And with that, we'll wrap
You
up.
know, yeah, Eli Manning doesn't look like he's got a lot of gas left in the tank either.
I watched a little bit of him this past week. He looked
Yeah,
awful.
Awful, awful. Folks, you heard it here first. And with that, Gary and I are going home
Yep.
to our respected abodes and our respective brides, have supper, and watch the Red
Watch
Sox.
the Red Sox.
Bingo. So, thank you for tuning in. Check back a couple of weeks. We'll be on again.
Indeed.
Very good. Thank you and good night.